If you're trying to buy your first home in 2026 and the entire process just seems too overwhelming, watch this video and I'll take you through every step of the process. Now, before you even start looking at homes, the first step in the process is talking with your lender to get pre-approved. This is the point where you ask yourself and your lender, based on my money situation, how much house could I realistically afford? Think of the pre-approval process as figuring out your home buying budget before you start shopping. The lender will look at things like your income, credit, debts, savings, and down payment to estimate how much home you can realistically afford. It doesn't mean you're committing to buying anything, it just gives you a clear starting point so you know what price range makes sense. Step 2 of the home buying process includes deciding what your budget and criteria are going to be. This is the point where you're asking yourself, what price, payment, location, and home features actually make sense for my lifestyle? Your lender may have approved you for $500,000, but have you looked at those monthly payments yet? I know we all want the fanciest house, but think about your lifestyle. Do you still want to travel? Save for retirement? Remember, your mortgage should fit your life, not become your life. All that preliminary stuff can be kind of boring. This is where the process gets a little more exciting. This is the point where you can ask yourself, now that I know my budget, what homes do I actually like in real life? We all know the internet can be a little bit deceiving. A home may look perfect online, but has a totally different feel in person. As you're walking through a home, think about the layout, the neighborhood, natural light, storage, and whether you can picture yourself actually living there. As you tour more and more homes, you'll start to narrow down what you must have and what the deal breakers are. This is where it starts to feel real. This is the point where you get with your agent and you write up an offer. At this point, you should be asking your agent, what price and terms should I offer to give myself the best chance of getting this house? An offer is much more than just picking a price. You'll also decide on things like your earnest money, closing timeline, inspections, and any seller concessions you want to request. Seller concessions are simply incentives the seller agrees to provide to help make the deal work. Most commonly, they're used to cover some of your closing costs, but they can also help pay for repairs, provide credits towards upgrades, or even buy down your interest rate to reduce your monthly payment. Congrats, you're under contract. Now you need to submit your earnest money. At this point, you're getting with your agent and asking, now that the seller said yes, what money and deadlines do I need to handle first? Firstly is your earnest money. Think of earnest money as a security deposit that shows the seller you're serious about buying their home. Once your offer is accepted, that money is held in an escrow account while the transaction moves forward. As long as you follow the terms and deadlines of the contract, that money isn't lost. It will get credited back to you at closing. Next, you and your agent need to schedule a home inspection as well as stay in close contact with your lender as they finish approving your loan. At the same time, your agent is managing contract deadlines, negotiations, and making sure every box gets checked before closing day. Next step, and one of the most important, is the inspection period. This is the point where you're asking your inspector and agent, what condition is this house really in, and are there any major problems that I need to know about? During the inspection, a professional licensed inspector checks the home's major systems to identify any potential issues. Don't worry if the report comes back with a list of items, that's completely normal. The goal is to identify major concerns, not expect perfection. From there, you and your agent can decide whether to move forward, negotiate repairs or credits, or walk away if the issue is too significant. After you get through the inspection comes the appraisal. This is the point where your lender's asking, is that house really worth what they're paying? An independent appraiser determines the home's value to make sure the lender isn't lending more than the home is worth. If the appraisal comes in at or above the purchase price, you're in great shape. If it comes in low, you and your agent can work through several options. Alright, we're through some hard parts, but not quite home yet. Next step is the loan underwriting period. This is the part where the lender is making absolutely sure that the borrower is qualified for the loan. They will verify your income, employment, assets, credit, and the appraisal before giving your loan final approval. And until you close, try to avoid making any major financial changes like opening new credit cards, financing a car, or changing jobs. At the same time, we also need to check title and insurance. This is where we make sure the home can legally transfer to you and will be properly insured. The title company makes sure the home can legally transfer to you by checking for any ownership issues or unpaid liens. Meanwhile, you'll choose a homeowner's insurance policy to protect your new home, and your lender will require proof of that coverage before closing. Once both boxes are checked, you're almost to the finish line. One of the last steps, and sometimes overlooked, is the final walkthrough. This is your last chance to make sure the home is still in the original condition that you agreed to earlier. Now, this isn't another inspection. It's your chance to make sure the home is in the condition you agreed to, that any negotiated repairs have been completed, and that nothing has changed since you last saw it. If everything looks good, you're ready to head to the closing table. Alright, you've made it. It is closing day. By this point, you're a little tired, overwhelmed, and you're just asking, can we finish the paperwork? And can I make this house mine? You'll sign the final documents, finalize the transaction, and once everything is completed, the home is officially yours. It's the moment all of the planning, paperwork, and waiting finally pays off, because now you get the keys. If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you learned something. If you're looking to buy or sell in Western Colorado, I'd love to help. Reach out anytime.